speaker, Ms. Megna Jain, a couple of things. How many of you still have this red color coupon? As important as your Aadhaar card. You have it? Good. Keep it with you. It is required for 5 o'clock to get the goodie bag. The goodie bag is your entry pass back home. Okay? Where have you been last 2 days? You just show the goodie bag, you will get a no objection certificate. Okay? So that is important. All of you, including me, were wondering what this lucky dip was all about, brown color. Okay? Fill it up. There is a separate bowl outside. During tea break, please put this lucky dip. I'll try my best to see to it those who did not win the green lucky dip get something in this lucky dip. Okay? So that is also, but this mystery has cracked at last. Right? So our next speaker is Megna Jain, entrepreneur, baker and blogger. Ms. Jain runs an online bakery called Dream a Dozen with an all-women kitchen crew in Bengaluru. She is recognized as an achiever by various forums and media outlets, and today will motivate us with a Dream It, Do It address. The stage is yours, Ms. Jain.
Before I begin, can we just have a huge round of applause for the organizers? What a fabulous morning we are part of today. And what an amazing thing to have more than 600 entrepreneurs under one roof. So I'm going to begin today's talk by asking you a question that is very close to my heart. A question that determined the course of my life, and the question to which I'm still understanding evolving answers today. And the question is, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? What does entrepreneurship mean to you? What does it mean to be a business owner, to be your own boss, to create your own destiny? 10 years ago, I was infatuated by entrepreneurship. I was in love with the concept. I was glued to hours of Shark Tank much before it came to India. And I would read the stories on Your Story and on Forbes, and I would think, if they can do it, then why can't I? In fact, my grandmother was an entrepreneur. She used to sell garments with Jaipuri prints in Rajasthan more than 40, 50 years ago. And if you see the first photo, that's the ex-chief minister of Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje, at one of her exhibitions. I would hear the stories of her adventures as an entrepreneur, and I would think that, wow, look at her sitting in her chair. What a boss she is. And everybody wants to be that boss until you actually are. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 stories that define entrepreneurship for me. 3 stories that are more than looking at it from the outside, that are experiences that I learned once I started this journey. They're the stories of a little bit of struggle and a little bit of magic. The first story is that was dated back to 2018 when I started the business full-time. I was sitting in my living room on a summer afternoon in April, and I got the call. It was from a potential customer. He urgently wanted a cake for his sister, and I was reluctant. At that time, I was a one-woman show. I used to do everything from baking to delivering to procurement to talking to customers, and sometimes even washing the dishes. And so I was like, I don't know if I can make it. And he said, just look at it. Just look at the design. It's very simple. The bakery that I ordered from canceled last minute, and I really want to gift this to my sister. And when I saw it, I saw that it needed some gray color food coloring for a gray ribbon. And I didn't have gray color food coloring at that time, so I asked him, can I use any other color? And he said, no, the color is important. So out of curiosity, I Googled what a gray color ribbon meant, and it meant brain cancer. He was gifting this cake to his sister, who was hardly my age, and it was because she was celebrating the end of chemotherapy when she was recovering from brain cancer. And I was so moved. I was so overwhelmed that I was given a chance to help somebody celebrate a chance at a second life. And that's when I understood that what I do, it's more than just celebrating birthdays and anniversaries for our clients. It's the celebration of life in itself. And when times are tough today, when our team is disappointed and we hold our head in our hands and we think, oh my God, why isn't this client paying on time? Why didn't this vendor show up? Why is this employee behaving like this? It's at those times that we think of our purpose. It's of the times that we think of quitting. We think, oh, I could have just done a corporate job, 9 to 5, got a fixed salary, and things would have been easier. It's at those times that I remind them of this cake. And this is not the biggest or the fanciest or the tastiest cake that we've made, but it is the cake that shows us our purpose. And when I was doing my research before coming to this event, I spoke to a mutual fund distributor, and I asked him, what is your purpose? What gives your work meaning? He said, Megna, if you make cakes for people to celebrate their grandfather's 90th birthday, and if you make cakes for people to celebrate their child's first birthday or their daughter's wedding, we give them the money to afford that celebration. How amazing is that? Can we just have a round of applause for everything that you do? How amazing is that purpose? The second story that I want to share with you, fast forwards to 2020. I had been running the business for 2 years. I moved from the corner of my parents' kitchen to a bigger place. We had hired 4 people, and things were going well. But the caretaker of the building was causing trouble for us. He would throw broken alcohol bottles at night at our doorstep. He would turn our signboard upside down. He would do all kinds of things. He would cut our electricity wires, and he was continuously harassing us for no reason. And I said, it's time to move out. Anyway, we are doing well. We need a bigger space. And we found a beautiful space that's 3 times the size of the previous place that we were in. But I knew that to build up that space from scratch, we will need to put all our savings of 2018 and 19. And I was scared. I was nervous. So I do what I usually do when I'm nervous. I asked my dad, what do you think I should do? And he said, Megna, don't worry. Fortune favors the bold. So with that confidence, I slept at night with dreams that we would have lines outside the door on the launch day. We called everybody we knew. We called journalists. We called bloggers. We invited our customers. We really hyped it up. But the month was March of 2020. And everybody knows what happened in March 2020. The lockdown happened. We thought we'll have to delay our launch. That got indefinitely cancelled. And what was supposed to be the best year, the best month of our business became the worst. Sales was 0 and rent was triple. We all just sat at home because in our business, we can't work from home. And in a couple of months when we started going back to work, we didn't know what to do. We were still getting used to the new normal. We didn't know what to wear, how to package, what to touch, how to clean. Everything was just really tough. And it was tough for all businesses, but it was particularly tough for food businesses in a pandemic. So as the months passed and we approached the festive season around August, September, October, I went to our corporate clients and they said, Megna, we want to buy from you, but the thing is that nobody's working from office, everyone's working remotely. So if we want to send gift hampers to our employees, then we'll have to deliver it to their doorstep. And suddenly I had to pivot the business model. I had to figure out how to do pan-India shipping with longer shelf life products and sturdier packaging, and we did it. Between Diwali and Christmas, we delivered thousands of boxes to our corporate clients, and finally, when we closed the books of the financial year 2020-2021, we doubled the sales in the year of the pandemic from the previous year. And it turns out that fortune really did favor the bold. The third story and experience that I want to share with you is again another thing that my father taught me. He said, your business is only as big as your beliefs. And I'm going to split this into 3. It's the belief in yourself, the belief in your industry, and the belief in your people. I was 22 when I started Dream a Dozen. When I made my first catalog, I made gift options from 500 rupees to 2,000 rupees. Because I couldn't afford to gift anyone anything more than 2,000 rupees. I couldn't understand why anyone would buy it. So when I went to my first meeting with an HR, she said, we have 60 employees and our budget is only 3,000. I said, 3,000? I don't even have an option for you. And that's when I realized that this was my self-limiting belief. Just because I couldn't buy it, that doesn't mean that I shouldn't sell it. And so, in the years to come now, we've made gorgeous hampers of 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 that go to the biggest CXOs of the whole country. We've served more than 100 plus clients, and on behalf of our clients, we've given our hampers to Deependra Goyal, to Kunal Shah, to Vidit Atreya, and the who's who of the entire country. Now in our industry has another self-limiting belief. When I started my training before the business, I realized how underrepresented women are in the industry that I'm from. In fact, a statistic said in the Hindustan Times that female chefs are only 3% of all of the chefs in commercial kitchens. 97% of the chefs are male. In fact, Marco Pierre White, who is a celebrity chef, made a statement in 2019, and he said that women are too emotional to be in the kitchen. He said that all the heavy lifting of pots and pans should be done by the men. And I said that when I start my business, when I start my kitchen, I'm going to have an all-women kitchen, so that we can change that statistic little by little by little. And our first employee, I always like to introduce Dream a Dozen by introducing Sushmita. Sushmita came to me for housekeeping when I was doing all of the baking on my own in 2018. And she was a very smart young girl. And she was 18 years old when she came. Unfortunately, her mother didn't want to pay for her continued education. She wanted to pay for her brothers instead, so she sent her off to work. I realized that she's a smart, young, energetic girl, and I took her under my wing and I taught her everything I knew in baking. She started absolutely from scratch, but little by little by little, I taught her, and there were times when we had bulk orders and she frosted the cupcakes while I did the dishes, because I knew that one day she's going to lead the kitchen while I lead the business. And 4.5 years later today, Sushmita is not only one of the most important people in our kitchen because she trains the girls that come, but she's also the highest earning member of her family. During the festive season, with the increased demand, we need more hands to help us. So Sushmita referred more girls from the government school that she comes from. Our housekeeping auntie brought more people from the colony that she lives. This Diwali in 2022, we gave employment, apart from our permanent staff, to 60 plus temporary women and girls from lesser privileged communities. And now there are cupcakes in front of you. Those have come from our kitchen. 10 years ago, for the first time, I baked 70 cupcakes, and I took them to my classroom, to 70 of my classmates. And this morning, our team baked 700 cupcakes, and I brought them in my car to Hilton for everybody, because it would be a grave injustice that I met you without any cupcakes in my hand. I hope you enjoy them. You don't have to worry. They're completely eggless. Everything we make is eggless. And there is a small QR code on the flag. And you have to scan that QR code. It will open onto our catalog. And make sure that you save that catalog onto your phones. Because my sales team has given me a target when I came here. And in case you are not able to scan that, then take the number, take a photo of this slide, and you know who to call this Diwali. Okay, let's round it up. What does entrepreneurship mean to me? I started this talk by asking you, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? Entrepreneurship is my belief in miracles. They say the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I've gotten very, very lucky in the last 5 years of my journey. You know, customers come to me to buy cakes. Customers come to you to buy mutual funds. But at the end of the day, they're asking, what do you stand for? And if what you stand for resonates with them, then they become your brand ambassadors. And through that, we've gotten platforms to share our story like TEDx. our story has been picked up in publications like Vogue, in Your Story, in Prajavani, in Humans of Bombay. But two miracles happened in the last 6 months that I want to share with you. The first was when I was featured in a nationwide campaign by Tanishq, and that happened because I was part of a women entrepreneur course in IIM Bangalore. And it so happened that one of my classmates got an assignment to do a casting for an ad. And she suggested to me, Megna, why don't you give, there are these 2 questions, you have to submit these 2 answers, and you might have a chance. I didn't even know what the opportunity was. They didn't reveal the company or anything about it. But I made a submission, and at that midnight, she messaged me. She said, Megna, congratulations, you've been selected for a Tanishq ad. And I said, okay, thank you so much. I didn't understand the enormity of what she was saying. And before I knew it, they called me for dress rehearsals and for makeup and the shoot, and everything was done. And even then, I didn't understand the enormity of what it was. And then a few weeks later, I was brushing my teeth in the morning and scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a DM from one of my customers. It was a full-page ad, a photo of it, and she said, Megna, is that you? And I said, oh my God, it is. And that's when I realized that this campaign was a nationwide campaign where they had displayed our photos, the name, the designation, across every Tanishq store in every major city, across thousands of hoardings, and every national and local newspaper for a span of 3 months. And the miracles continued. On 26 December 2022, just barely 2 weeks ago, our team had arrived early for work, and the shutter was down, so they were downstairs. And they saw opposite our kitchen, there's an SLV. And Sihikai Chandru had come there to have breakfast. So they quickly ran behind him and they said, sir, we are very big fans of yours. Can we have a selfie? And they took a selfie with Sihikai Chandru. And then they said that we are part of this bakery and you must come. We have an all-women kitchen. And he said, yes, yes, we'll come. And they exchanged pleasantries, and that was that. They came excited in the morning and they showed me, see, we got a selfie with Sihikai Chandru. I said, very good, very nice. And we went on with our work. A few hours later, after lunch, their producers called us and they said, our schedule has changed a little bit. We have an hour in the middle. If you can arrange everything, we'll come. And we said, oh my God, come. And so they came with the whole team of 10 people with the cameras and the lighting and everything, and they recorded a segment of their episode, a 10-minute segment that aired last week on Star Suvarna. And all of our family members were watching us on national television, and my team and I, we looked at each other and said, what just happened, right? What just happened? How do these coincidences just keep happening, one after the other? I'm a solo founder, and many times as a journey of entrepreneurship goes, as a solo founder, you feel lonely. You feel like you're the only one who is driving the bus towards a certain goal, and your employees and your clients, they just climb onto the bus and they climb off the bus and they feel that they are there to fulfill a short-term purpose, but nobody is with you for the long run. And this was a very discouraging feeling. This was a very disempowering thought. And then I watched a video that happened to play on my Instagram, and I saw, he said the same thing, but he said it in a different way. He said, imagine that you are a rocket and you are going towards your goal. And you might be alone, but you need boosters for that rocket that will eventually fall off when you reach a certain altitude. But you need those boosters to get you towards that goal. And suddenly, my feelings changed, my thoughts changed. And that was a very empowering thought. Another time, one of my seniors, he's also an entrepreneur, and I was complaining to him during the lockdown. I said, oh, this is so difficult, our kitchen is shut. And then he said, Megna, so what? First, there was demonetization, there was GST, today there's COVID, tomorrow there will be something else. But we are entrepreneurs, we are businessmen and businesswomen, and we go on. And we continue to see the magic. We continue to see the magic in the smallest and the biggest things of life. Sometimes when life brings us down, we don't realize how beautiful everything is around us. And I understood that I can't control my feelings, but I can control my thoughts. And so I got the team together. I said, okay, everybody will watch The Secret and we'll feel super motivated. And then we discussed and we said, every day we will discuss 3 things that we are grateful for at work. And initially, they were reluctant. They said, Akka, there's nothing to be grateful for today. That cake got burnt in the oven. Oh, this fell down. This cake got damaged. And I said, that's not possible. There has to be something that you are grateful for today. And slowly and steadily, their attitude changed. It was the best business decision of 2022 to ask my team what they're grateful for every single day. And you won't believe, from 3 things, they went to 4 things, 5 things, 6 things. Today, we get a list every night of 8 to 10 things from every single person, small things. She shared her biryani with me at lunch today. She got a chair from me from outside. I learnt this new thing at work today. And it doesn't matter how long they're working, the complaints have stopped. When they go to bed, they're not thinking, oh, I had such a long 12-hour day. They're thinking, wow, I was appreciated for something and I appreciated somebody else. This week, we turned 5. 4th January was our birthday and Reema doesn't turn 5 years old. And this weekend, I'm taking the team out to a resort and I've given them all a little project to make our first company vision board. And I said, put your most audacious goals over there. What does scale mean to you? I told the marketing department, you want Hrithik Roshan as your brand ambassador? Cut out a photo of him and put it on the vision board. You want 100K followers on Instagram? Put it on the vision board. I told the kitchen, think of what model of a mixer and what model of an oven you want. Cut out a photo and put it on the vision board. I told the housekeeping auntie, who's a solo contributor right now, imagine you have a team of people who are doing dusting, mopping, dishwashing. Put it on the vision board. And that's the thing. If there's one last thing that I can tell you before I go, the most important of everything that my father has taught me, it is that everything happens twice. Once in the mind, and then in reality. And as we complete 5 years, I realize that we are all entrepreneurs. And I can guarantee that with the vision, with hard work, and with gratitude, you can get anything that you want to get. Because we are all entrepreneurs, we are the magic, and we are the magicians, we are that rocket. And you and I, we create the future. We are the wealth creators, we are the risk takers, we are the employers. We create the future for ourselves, for our families, for our employees, for our clients, and for the country. Thank you.
Megna, that was a wonderful, inspiring presentation. So lovely to know the success of your journey. We wish Dream a dozen-fold increase in business and Diwali orders and Christmas orders. Thank you so much. A big applause for Megna and her team. May I invite you back on stage? Can I call on Srikala and Mr. Shivkumar of Belagavi to kindly present Megna a memento from our side?